you know, as a guitar player, you're always questing after something,
Right.
you know, and you find something that is satisfying for a while, and then you evolve it a bit, which is kind of what happened here. I've been doing that with amplifiers my whole life too, and had some great good fortune when I hooked up with Carvin,
Right.
and we made the Legacy.
Right.
And even the Legacy continued to go through changes. And when Carvin slowed down, I wanted to really focus on reinventing the sound a little more. So it was, you know, what company am I going to work with? Because when people heard that, you know, and I say Carvin has slowed down, they've slowed down, they haven't stopped.
Yeah. And are you still going to continue with the preamp pedal?
Yeah, those pedals.
Okay.
See, that's the great thing about the Synergy system. You're not endorsing one company because they work with all the companies
Right.
to create these modular preamps.
Right.
And this is like, when I saw this, I just thought, that's for me.
Right.
If it works. I don't know if it's going to work, because a lot of times people have good ideas, but when you take them onto the battlefield,
Right.
you know, they just don't hang.
Right.
You know, and so I had my hopes up. But when I got the gear and I started playing with it, I was stunned. You know, it's like these guys here, you know, there's companies that just feel, I just have to make the highest quality, you know, and that I can.
Right.
They don't compromise.
Right.
There's like an integrity at stake. And that's what this company, you know, is.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they started, you know, so I got these modules, and I was so blown away, because they're the actual preamp sections of various amplifiers.
Right.
And some of them they've licensed the actual schematics for.
Right.
And some of them are more kind of like replicas, like the Plexi or the Bassman, or, you know, the Fender stuff, things like
Right.
that. But I've checked them all out and compared them forensically to the real things.
Right.
And I'm so happy. I'm blown away. That's why I'm doing all this press for them. It's like a public service announcement for guitar players. It's not like if you buy one of these Synergy, Steve Vai makes money. You know, it's just like, well, I might make something if you buy that one, which is mine. But
Right.
it's not why I do it.
Right.
It's just so convenient and so cool. And now I have, you know, four amplifiers in this rig.
Right.
And 2 channels of each.
Right.
So it's fantastic. And the Vi module, after I started using the stuff and liking it, I obviously had to have a particular taste in the amplifiers that I use, the sound, the actual sounds. So they were interested in building one around my ear.
Right.
So that became the Vi module. And it's kind of picked up where the Legacy left off, you know. But it's just so nice to have all of this in one rig, and then have all these amplifiers coming out stereo through my fractal system.
Right.
Yeah, it's really nice.
You've always been really open to all these crazy ideas of this gear, right? So what I mean by that is, some musicians, they only play traditional old tube amps, and some embrace the digital technology.
Yeah.
But you've always like all of it, right? You mess with some, and so the reason I'm asking the question or stating it that way is, what I've noticed is, as much as, so you don't have any snobbery is what I notice. Like, it seems like if you like it, you like it. It doesn't matter what it is.
Well, I'm internally a snob.
Okay.
You know, but externally, I think I can't be anything, because it's just my opinion.
Right.
My taste.
Right.
Which doesn't mean anything except to me, and to maybe some others who are interested in what I think about certain things. But there's certain gear that I just draw a line at.
Right.
You know, anything with latency is difficult for me to wrap my brain around. I use modeling very sparingly, not very often at all. You know, all of this rig and the Synergy and my rig, there's nothing modeling about it. There's nothing digital about it.
and that's kind of what I was tying into, which is, so it seems like you always stick with two. Is what I've noticed, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? You implement, like the axe effects, you're implementing it as your effects.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's the kind of thing where you have to experiment a lot before you even know. It's very easy to read things and then hear one thing and go, there, that's it, that's the shit, that's what, you know, no, everybody else is wrong.
Right.
You know, which doesn't serve you really well in the long run. And for me, I did that.
Right.
You know, people would ask me in the early days, and I wouldn't really know.
Right.
But you're in a position where you're supposed to be the one to know.
Right.
So, you know, I remember one of my first interviews, I was talking about some piece of gear, and I saw it in press, and people were saying, well, you know, this. And I'm like, well, I got to be careful. You know,
Right.
I can't be willy-nilly. So it's the same thing with gear, and sometimes it's taken me my whole lifetime throughout my career to know what it is that I'm most attracted to. Because the digital technology opens up incredible parameters for you. I mean, it's endless, you know, what you
Right.
can do. And in the guitar world, in the amp world, you know, with all the modeling, it's just fascinating. I'm sorry, you know, this just me. I don't really know how something is going to react until I get it on the battlefield, which
Right.
is the stage.
Right.
Because you're competing there with all sorts of anomalies: the room, the stage,
Right.
the amount of people,
Right.
the other guys playing. You know, bass, the cymbals, everything. And when all that stuff gangs up on you, my sound has to own itself. It has to own a particular space in the stereo spectrum.
Right.
That real estate has to be clear, and it has to be able to stand up to the onslaught of everything that's going on. For my ear, digital effects are really effective for certain effects.
Okay.
Like, I'm never going to use a digital distortion.
Right.
Unless I'm looking for that sound, which would be rare because I don't like the way digital distortion sounds.
Right.
And I always felt that delays sound best digitally.
Okay.
You know, I love digital delay. I don't use analog delay. I've tried many times.
Okay.
I just don't like it.
Is it because the digital seems crisper? Do you hear like a
The
clarity
digital,
to it?
yeah, the digital creates an atmosphere,
Right.
a clean atmosphere.
Right.
Where with analog, there's that noise floor in the repeats in the delay that just builds up.
Right.
You know, and it gets masked, and then it gets stepped on by the regular sound, you know, by the direct sound. So, and it's not that it's bad.
Right.
Personally, I just prefer digital delay.
When you're playing just for like backstage or what we call sometimes the bedpost practice, where you just in the corner.
Oh no, I do that.
Do you have a little practice amp, or do you still have an elaborate rig that you're always playing through?
Well, if I'm home in my studio, I always have my rig.
Right.
And if you go into the studio, I mean, it's the studio rig. Forget it. I mean, it's
right.
They would have needed a truck to get it here. You know?
Right.
It's got all sorts of things. Why not use that?
Right.
You know, but I'll use anything. Anything that I can hear myself.
Right.
You know, and I'll just try to adapt my playing a bit around it.
As always, I want to thank Steve I for
Thank you.
being so nice to do the interview and show us the new Synergy modules. Wow, say it twice as fast. And as always, I want to thank you guys so much for your time. And
Yeah,
until
thank you,
next
guys.
time,
Gals
yep, and gals, yep, know your gear.
and kids.
And kids, thank you so much.
Oh yeah, I know you.
You do, you know me?
Yeah, I've seen
Bald
you.
head
I've seen you on
on the YouTube. Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
And a good way
stuff.
out.
Yeah.